The problem is you have not been exposed to speaking English so much. Other areas, reading, writing, listening to English, you have exposed yourself to all these skills ample and ample of times, but speaking opportunities have been limited. Now what we have to do is we have to cover that time. Hi everybody, how are you all? Hope you're doing great. Welcome back to another session of learning English with me. Today I'm going to take one of the most requested topics these days, that is, I can understand English but I can't speak it. I know this is a very common problem among all English learners, all English speakers, that they can understand English but they're not able to speak it. You can read it, you can write it, you can even listen to it and understand almost what is being said. But when it comes to speaking English, it's like sometimes you're not able to speak, you're not able to form sentences. Although you know English, you understand English, you know everything about English, but at the time of speaking English, it's like there is a mental freeze where you're not able to retrieve words, sentences, you're not able to speak confidently or properly. So today in this video, I'm going to provide solutions for this particular problem, the action plan to overcome this particular problem. I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK, and you're watching Speak English with Shivangi. Before beginning, I would like to request you to please subscribe this channel because you get one English video lesson every day on this channel. Also, like the video and share it with your friends. Share it as much as possible. It might help somebody else too. Okay, coming back to today's lesson, I was getting lots of requests recently about this particular topic. I have already made a video in the past, few months ago, but in that video, I'm talking about the reasons why you're able to understand the English, but you're not able to speak it. So I'm discussing all the reasons why this is happening. And in this video, today's video, I'm bringing you the solutions, the action plan. So if you want, you can even go back, refer to that particular video and watch that video. Nonetheless, this video is going to help you a lot. Okay, the solutions that I'm going to talk about total 6 solutions for this particular problem. The 6 tips, the 6 solutions that you can use when you're not able to speak English. See, you're able to understand English. Reading is fine, writing is fine, listening is fine. But speaking is again a skill. Language is a skill. We don't have to treat it as a subject. When we say language, you can understand it, but you cannot speak. That means you can understand the skill. You have knowledge about the skill, but you don't have enough practice. You don't have enough exposure to use it in a situation or to use it properly. That's where you're lacking. That means you don't have many speaking opportunities, or you not have been exposed to many speaking opportunities in your life. And right now, what is happening, you're going through a crisis. It's like in your life till now, you were not given situations where you can use English, where you can speak English. And now suddenly, you're required to speak in English. There are situations in your life where you have to speak in English. And that's why you're going through a crisis. You are not habitual of speaking in English, and suddenly there is a need in your life to speak English. It can be a college interview. It can be speaking English at your college. It can be a job interview. It can be you are required to speak in English professionally. You are somebody who needs to give presentations, who needs to attend meetings and everything. You are a person who's responsible for handling communication of your company, and that's why you're required to speak in English. There can be a lot of reasons why you need English right now, because English has become a very integral part of our lives. But do not worry, there are solutions through which we can tackle this problem, because this is faced by many people and there is nothing in this world that we cannot solve. And English is just a skill. Obviously, we can master it. Okay, now coming back to all the 6 solutions for this problem. And the solution number 1 is start talking to yourself. Talk to yourself. You know, I have talked about this particular technique, and this is one of the excellent techniques that can help you become habitual of speaking English because you're talking to yourself. In your initial days of speaking English, when you have just begun your English speaking journey, it can be really nerve-wracking, or you might feel a bit hesitant while speaking in English with somebody because you might fear judgment, you might fear making mistakes. There are a lot of reasons for that. So in this particular situation, what you can do is you can talk to yourself. Talk to yourself because when you're alone, there is nobody to judge you. Even if you're making mistakes, that's fine. Even if you are taking too much time while speaking, it's okay, because with time, you're gonna improve. And once you have achieved a proper pace of speaking, particular accent, pronunciation, and you've developed a simple skill, even a simple skill of speaking English, then you can go and have conversation with people. So now you have overcome this particular problem that you're taking too many pauses or you have to think a lot before speaking. When you've overcome this particular problem, it'll be easier for you to have conversation with others. But if you're at this particular stage where you're struggling to speak in English, try talking to yourself. For 1 month, do this particular activity. Take a topic and talk to yourself about that topic. Speak everything out loud. Speak out loud and then repeat things. When you talk to yourself, you'll see improvement because there is no one to judge. There is no fear of judgment. There is no fear of making mistakes because there is nobody to judge you. That means you're free to make as many mistakes as you want. And with time, you will improve on those mistakes. When you keep on practicing and keep on improving your English side by side, everything will reduce and the positivities, the positive aspects, they will come out and they'll be visible more. You'll be able to notice all the positive changes in your speaking skills. So talk to yourself. This is going to change a lot about your confidence and speaking skills. Solution number 2. Solution number 2 is use prefabricated sentences or phrases, common phrases. Now, what are prefabricated sentences? Prefabricated, that means something that has already been fabricated. Fabricate is to build or to make. So, sentences that you have already made, or there are ready-made prefabricated sentences that are used in a particular situation. For example, when you're meeting someone new, you might use certain sentences to introduce yourself, or you might use certain sentences to initiate a conversation. There are sentences, set sentences that can be used in some common situations that are very helpful at the beginning stages of speaking. So if you're struggling to speak, using these prefabricated sentences can help you speak English. You just have to know in which situation you need to use these particular sentences and then understand those sentences and learn them. And then try speaking them. Whenever you get opportunity, try using those sentences. For example, if you've learned a particular sentence in order to initiate a conversation, for example, you've learned, "Oh, hello, how are you? Long time no see." You can use it next time when you meet somebody. Try using that sentence. Now you have learned this particular sentence, learn this particular phrase. These are also called phrases, which are short and which have a particular specific usage. They are phrases. So prefabricated sentences and phrases both are important and they can help you speak English, speak correct English at a beginning level of stage where you don't have to think too much about framing a sentence. So you see, your work is reducing. You're not struggling to form a complete sentence. You're not struggling for the proper sentence structure. You already have a prefabricated sentence or you have a phrase that you can use at that particular place. And hence, it makes speaking process easier. Now, there are two types of phrases, basic phrases and advanced phrases. Do not go for advanced phrases right now. For example, your idioms and your expressions. Do not go for that if you're at your beginning level of English speaking. First, go for common phrases. For example, long time no see. How are you? How have you been? Ah, nice to meet you. Oh, look there, that's a nice one. So that's a nice one. Small phrases, common phrases that can be used in common situations, common conversations. Start with those phrases. And then once you have mastered those common phrases, then you can move to the advanced one, the idioms, like bite the bullet, under the weather. So they are your advanced phrases. Solution number 3. Okay, solution number 3 is again very important aspect of your English speaking, and I have mentioned this a lot and I'm going to mention this once again. That is, use it or lose it. So you know that I have also mentioned it once before regarding your vocabulary, how to remember everything in English. And I'm going to use it once again this time for speaking English. Use it or lose it. What exactly is this? Use it or lose it. That means whatever you're learning in English, maybe you're listening to a podcast and you're learning new words, you're writing them down, you're learning new phrases, you're recording them. But are you using them right away? If you're not, you will never be able to speak them. They're going to be there in your mind, in your memory, and they are going to remain in the part where you can understand them, but you cannot speak them. They'll always remain in that particular zone. So use it or lose it. That means whenever you learn something new, immediately use it. Otherwise, you're gonna lose it. That means you will never be able to speak it out comfortably. You will never be able to use it in a conversation or when you're speaking English in a real situation. I'm not just talking about your practice session, but the real situation where you're required to speak in English. So use whatever you're learning immediately. For doing that, you can make some sentences. If you're learning a particular word, try forming 2 example sentences and then speak them out loud. When you speak them out loud, you are making yourself habitual of using those words and you're preparing your mind to use the words next time. Now these sentences will act actually like prefabricated sentences because your mind is now familiar with those sentences. So they become your prefabricated sentences. And in future, you might use those sentences without even deliberately knowing that you've used those. So that's why it's important to use it. Otherwise, you lose it. Solution number 4. Write down everything that you want to speak. Now, writing down everything that you want to speak will help you a lot. I know it's not practical for your real-time conversations when you're speaking outside in the real world. I totally understand, but this is a great way to practice your English. Something that you can do while practicing your English. So, a particular exercise that can help you speak English, help you develop the habit of speaking English. So you know English, you understand English, you can understand English well. That means you can also write English. So just write down whatever you want to speak, whatever is the topic for the day that you're going to speak about, write everything down. It can be about your favorite movie, it can be about a book, it can be about what you did in that particular day, it can be about what you're gonna do next day. Whatever is your topic, your achievements, a happy moment, whatever is your topic, you just have to write it down. Write at least 300, 400 words and then read it once. Once you've read it, speak out loud everything. Speak everything out loud, and you can also speak it while reading as you go. But do not read and speak every time. Once you have written it, read it, speak everything out loud while you're reading it. After that, you have to keep that paper aside and then speak everything. Speak. You'll see that you're able to speak better. And this particular exercise will improve your English speaking skills over the time. And hence, you will start speaking English. The areas in which you struggle, that you're not able to speak English, you hesitate to speak English, they will reduce and you'll see that this has helped you actually a lot. Solution number 5. Solution number 5 is to think in English. Yes, thinking in English is important, and this is a particular skill that you can develop. So if you have the ability to think in English, speaking in English will become easier. Now why? See, when you write English, you have ample of time to think about what you're gonna write. You have the liberty to think about it. But when you are speaking English, you don't have liberty to think about what you're gonna speak, how you're going to form sentences, what words are gonna use. You don't have the liberty to select particular vocabulary. No, it's spontaneous. It's on the spot. So if you have the ability to think in English, you'll see that speaking English becomes easier because there is no translation in your head. You don't struggle to choose things and choose words. Things become more spontaneous, more natural, with a particular flow. So thinking in English will help you develop this habit of speaking in English. And once you've mastered the skill, you will see that speaking becomes easier, and then you will be able to speak in English with a flow and fluency. Now, how to think in English? For that, I have particular video for you that you people are actually giving a lot of love to. It's this video. So if you want to know how to think in English, I'm suggesting exercises, various techniques and exercises through which you can develop the habit of thinking in English. So I suggest you go check that video out for more techniques on thinking in English. Okay, last solution for today. Solution number 6. Solution number 6 is practice speaking every day. You need to practice speaking every day. Practice English speaking using different techniques. Practice English speaking using different topics, but practice every day. That is something that you need to do if you want to speak English. Because the problem is you have not been exposed to speaking English so much. Other areas, reading, writing, listening to English, you have exposed yourself to all these skills ample of times, but speaking opportunities have been limited. Now what we have to do is we have to cover that time up, because we need to speak English. It's a requirement and we need to develop the skill fast. You have to practice every day, but just do not practice like that. Use different techniques to practice English speaking. There are various techniques that I have discussed already in a lot of my videos, so you'll get all the techniques from the playlist English speaking practice techniques. Go check them out, and you can use a different technique every day. This will help you develop your English speaking skills in a multi-dimensional way. It's not like you are able to speak English only in a particular situation and then you get stuck. No, it's gonna improve your English in an overall way, overall area of your English. So it will help you develop the fluency and the accuracy both. So practice English speaking every day. Do not miss out till the time you develop the confidence of speaking it out in a real conversation with somebody. So these were all the 6 solutions from my side. These are definitely going to help you speak English. Start speaking English. So that's the lesson. That was the lesson. I hope you liked it and this particular lesson solved your query and your problem too. Now I'm gonna see you next time with a new lesson. Till then, take care everybody and bye.